few weeks ago, as part of our 20th anniversary show, I went over the 20 best performing stocks since Mad Money first went on the air. Now, most of these are now household names. But there was one small company on the list that I hadn't been following for a long time. And that's a company called UFP Technologies. It's a $1.9 billion company that's an outsourced designer and manufacturer for medical devices, sterile packaging, and other highly engineered custom products. Niche. But it's a great niche, becoming an important link in the medical device supply chain. And that's one of the reasons why the stock's up nearly 100% since the show first premiered in March of 2025. I can't believe it's been that long. Wow, we've been on a long time. And hey, it still has some juice here. UFP's up a quick 16% since I mentioned it again at the end of April after a company reported a strong quarter last Tuesday. Now, when I mentioned this one on the anniversary show, I extended an open invitation. I'm glad they say they accepted it. So let's check in now with Jeff Bailey. He's the chairman and CEO of UFP Technologies to learn more about his company and how the heck they've done so well. Mr. Bailey, welcome to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me on the show, and congratulations on your 20 years. That's a big deal.
Well, congratulations on your success, because you know I met you about 30 years ago. Your company was a huge position of mine for my old hedge fund, and that was because you were well ahead of your time in terms of packaging. At that point was how you got your Hewlett-Packard. So tell us how you went from being that kind of really good environmental packaging that was not wasteful to being something that's really about the highest end packaging you could possibly have.
Yeah, so our strategy is very simple, and it was basically born out of scar tissue. You know, we were always an innovative company that would solve problems but couldn't always keep it. Some of the examples that you knew way back when. So we started asking ourselves, who really values our really close precision tolerances? Who values our knowledge of materials? And we had been in the medical space already for quite a while. In about 2018, we made a concerted decision to focus and really become a med tech company, and so bring up all our standards. And so now our goal is to help our customers innovate, and then to help them take costs out and take risks out of their supply chain.
Now you have 26 of the top 30 largest medical device manufacturers, robotic surgery, orthopedic, sterile packaging. What happens? They all find out that you do it, or you're constantly saying, listen, we can do it better than the guys knocking on doors?
So we were pioneers in robotic surgery 20 years ago. We got started in this. And so we finally, again, learned to add more value to our customers. We bought the next step in the value chain, and we became a better mousetrap. And so basically now we deal with like 20 different robotic surgery companies. So all the major players we're working with now.
Okay, so you're doing infection prevention and wound care, therapeutics, surfaces and support. Now, I mean, how do you have this breadth of knowledge about all these things and doing robotic surgery?
So what we have is a lot of knowledge about specific processes and about specific materials, and those solutions apply to all these different cases. So, for instance, in infection prevention, we're doing a lot now with external catheters. It's a new innovation, and so it matches perfectly with our skills and our materials knowledge.
Okay, let me ask you, on the conference call, you guys have been terrific at robotic surgery end market, multiple years of growing 20%. Plus, but the end market declined 6% in the first quarter. You told us, Glenn, don't worry about it, so to speak, but that was a big delta. Is everything all right?
The advanced components decline? Yeah, so beginning of last year, the military was doing a get readiness for war thing, partly out of the Ukraine thing. They placed an enormous order at the beginning of 2024. So it's really a comp. So we actually expect by the end of the year, advanced components will be growing. It's a low single-digit grower. It's not a ferocious growth rate, but it'll be back in.
That's what. Okay, good. Because the company's been doing so well, and the stock went up after we talked. I want to be sure that everything is definitely on target. Now, you've been around for 60 years as a specialty packaging company, and I was trying to figure out what happened to the stuff that I saw when you used to do specialty packaging for computer companies.
Yeah, so we've pivoted a number of times, always trying to find where we can add the most value, those segments that valued us. So packaging became more commodity, we became into molded medical packaging,
right.
Introduced us to customers, and then we more and more markets, more and more value add, and sort of our strategy evolved on this market to sweet spot concept.
Okay, so how did you get into, and I have to ask you to describe it, robotic drapes?
So 20 years ago, our biggest customer showed up in our conference room trying to make the critical component that separates the robot from the surgical instrument. It was a precision molded part. We were experts in molding, and right. So we were the right one to come to. And so we were doing this part for 15 years, and we decided to try to do more and more and more for them.
Okay, so needleless injection port cleaner. You've got to be the only one in that business.
Well, the infection prevention also maps to our skills. So these guys who want unique materials that can do special things come and find us, and we show them materials. We help them develop their product. Then we often build custom equipment to make it, and then we make the product for them.
And you make them in the United States.
We do, yep, those, yep.
And there's no problem, right? There's plenty of...
Well, we have, I'd say, 2/3 of our revenue in the U.S., but we have factories outside the U.S. We've followed some of our customers who asked us, but most of our business is in the U.S. And yes, that particular product's made in Texas. No problem.
no tariff problems?
No problem.
Well, I've got to tell you, you have a really interesting niche business, certainly much more high value added than when I first met. I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting opposite someone who we had about a 4% position in your company, because we thought that you were the first to recognize the greatness of trying to do the right thing in packaging. And a lot of people get angry at packaging. Even when I went out to Amazon, I told Andy Jassy, why can't you do better packaging? Everybody wants the best packaging, and that's really your niche, isn't it?
It was once upon a time, and we've
But
sort of evolved.
now it's medkit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's a great compounding and growth. You certainly deserve all the success you had, and I hope people understand that this is a company that has morphed into doing something that's the most high value added from when I met you, which was you were just very environmental, which I love. That's Jeff Bailey, Chairman and CEO of UFP Technologies. Jeff, thanks for coming on the show.
Jim, thank you.
Mad Money's back after the break.